What's up everybody, I'm Seth Fowler and today I'm counting down my top 10 favorite sneaker pickups of 2019. First off, I want to give a huge thank you to the sponsor of today's video, Container Store. I'm sure you've seen those sneaker drop front boxes that everyone seems to be getting. They keep your sneakers safe and organized and they look good too. Well, if you've been holding out to grab some of these boxes, now is the time, because from now until May 19th, Container Store is selling their sneaker drop front boxes for 25% off. So if you'd like to grab some of these drop front boxes for yourself, make sure to click the link in the description below. I actually grabbed like 48 of these boxes for myself so I could reorganize my office, and now I'm just kind of waiting for them to come in. Oh man, they're finally here. They're finally here. Oh man, look how many there are. Huge thank you to Container Store, this is sick. So now I've got all the boxes from outside, inside, and now I've got to take all the shoes from these boxes and put them into these boxes. But at the end of the day, they'll look better, it'll be worth it, so I guess let's get to it. So now that we've got the office reorganized and looking really good in my opinion, let's jump into the main reason why I'm filming this video, the top 10 sneakers that I picked up in 2019. Number 10, the Jordan Proto Max 720. This was a shoe that was gifted to me by Jordan Brand, I believe during All-Star Weekend, and the reason this shoe is on the list instead of the regular 720 is because I kind of like this shoe more than the regular 720. I love the fact that Jordan Brand is in a sense collaborating with Nike and using things like the 720 midsole on this sneaker, and I also like the fact that they're trying something new. This is definitely a step outside the box for Jordan Brand, and it's a welcome one in my opinion. This red colorway probably isn't my favorite out of all the Proto Max 720s, and that's mainly because it's a little bit less wearable than, say, a black pair. The upper of the sneaker comes in this sort of plasticky mesh, which I thought was waterproof at first, and then I tested it to find out that it's not, but it's still a pretty comfortable upper, especially because of the neoprene booty underneath the mesh. As for the 720 Air unit, it looks interesting and it's somewhat bouncy, but it's not the most comfortable cushioning in the world. Even though the Jordan Proto Max 720 is not perfect in my opinion, it's still a great shoe and one that I'm happy to have. Number 9, the Adidas Terrex Free Hiker. This is a shoe that was actually gifted to me by Terrex, and the way I first heard about this sneaker was from watching Oh It's Teddy's vlogs. I think Teddy was in Tokyo at the time and he was just obsessed with them, so when Terrex reached out and told me that they were going to send me a pair, I was really excited. It's kind of like a mashup of the Solar Boost and a hiking boot. You've got the hiking boot tread, you've got the hiking boot upper, but then you've also got this Boost midsole with this Solar Boost rail. Am I saying that wrong? Is it the Solar Glide? I think it's a Solar Glide. The upper of the shoe features a water-resistant prime knit, which feels great on foot, and of course is water-resistant, which is good for hikes. And it's also a pretty good-looking sneaker and pretty easy to wear with pretty much anything. I usually hike in Nike ACGs, but I think I'm going to be wearing these a lot more often because these are mad comfy. One of my favorite details is actually this bright neon hit on the heel. It really makes the shoe stand out, and it's kind of a pop of color you wouldn't expect. Also, the toe has this really stiff rubber on it, so if you're clumsy like me, you're not going to be banging up your toes as much as you would in pretty much any other sneaker. Number 8, the Brooks Glycerin 17. Over the last couple months, I've been getting a lot more into running, so I figured I needed to grab some of the popular running sneakers to really get a feel for what's out there. The Brooks Glycerin 17 is widely considered to be the most plush of all the Brooks sneakers. Now I can't speak for all of Brooks sneakers because I've only tried 2 of them, but it's a pretty plush ride. The upper is incredibly soft and well padded, especially around the ankle, and then you've also got this really soft and cushioned foam. Now the foam isn't as soft as something like Boost, but for running I actually prefer a stiffer foam, and to be honest, this isn't even really that stiff of a foam. It's just not as mushy as Boost is. This is a shoe that I usually take with me if I know I'm going to be running a little bit longer than usual, or if I'm still in a lot of pain from runs that I did on other days. It's a great shoe, especially if you're not trying to run super fast and you're just kind of running for endurance. The one thing is that, in my opinion, it's pretty ugly. I would never wear this shoe casually. This isn't like a basketball sneaker that you can wear on and off the court. This is a shoe that I would only ever wear when I'm running. Number 7, the Puma Clyde Court Disrupt. Speaking of basketball shoes that I would wear casually, this is a basketball sneaker that I've literally only ever worn casually. This is one of the later colorways of Puma's first basketball sneaker that they've made in the last 20 years. I gotta thank the good people over at Puma for sending this sneaker and a couple other sneakers my way as an engagement present. That was like the coolest thing. They gave my fiance 2 pairs. I think one of them was like a Selena Gomez collab or something like that, and the other one was some sort of dad shoe. They gave me this and then the Puma RSX toys. The Puma Clyde Court Disrupt is not the most comfortable sneaker in the world, and it is pretty heavy, so it's probably not my first choice when it comes to basketball sneakers, but in my opinion, it's a great looking shoe and one that I rock on a pretty regular basis. I also really love the colorway. I think this feather stitching in silver, this clear Puma logo, and this hit of red is just such a clean look. Number 6, the Adidas Night Jogger. Out of all the Night Jogger colorways that I've owned, this one is definitely my favorite. I love the gray, I love the black, I love the hits of orange. It's just such a clean looking shoe. The Night Jogger is one of Adidas's newest silhouettes. I believe it's new for 2019. And they knocked it out of the park. They did a great job with it. The Night Jogger features some premium hits of suede around the toe, around the lace eyelets, and also around the heel of the shoe. Of course, being a night jogger, it's also got a lot of 3M hits, and one of my favorite details is actually the unfinished tongue. Of course, you've got a full-length boost midsole, and I've also found that this sneaker is very easy to rock with pretty much any outfit, so you've got comfort and style. It's a win-win. If you're not a fan of this Night Jogger colorway, there are tons of other Night Jogger colorways coming down the pipeline, so all you gotta do is wait, and I'm sure you'll find one that works for you. Number 5, the Hoka Onaona Arahi 3. This is another one of those running specific sneakers that I picked up this year, and this is actually the first pair of Hokas I've ever owned. This shoe is mainly focused on stability in your run, which I didn't realize I needed until I started running in this shoe, and now that I've started running in it, I love it. The upper is very comfortable, flexible, and breathable, and I absolutely love the way it feels on foot. You've got some padding on the tongue and also around the ankle, and it really cups your foot nicely. The midsole itself has this very aggressive ribbed look. The front half of the midsole is this white exposed foam, and the back half of the midsole on the lateral side, and also almost the entire midsole on the medial side, is covered in this gray rubber. That rubber is there primarily to prevent the foam from compressing as much as it could, especially on the inside of your foot. And because the foam can't compress as much, you'll feel a lot more stable around the inside and the heel of your foot, and you'll still get some impact protection. Again, this is another one of those sneakers that I would never wear for lifestyle and really only ever wear if I'm going for a run. Number 4, the John Geiger 002. This is a shoe that I just picked up, and the reason it took me so long to grab this shoe is because they keep selling out and I can't grab them anywhere. John Geiger is a creative who's hugely influential in the sneaker community, and he's someone that I've always looked up to because he created his own sneaker brand, and that's so cool. As the name of the shoe would suggest, this is his second sneaker that he's released, the 002, and this shoe retails for about $350 and is handmade in the United States. I love the minimal aesthetic of the shoe, I love the yellow accents running down the center of the sneaker, and also I like how comfortable it is. Another detail that really stands out to me is the way the lacing system works. It wraps around the entire midfoot of the shoe, and then it's tied on the medial side. The John Geiger 002 is an extremely well-made sneaker that looks great, and one that I'm very happy to have in my collection. Number 3, the Nike Air Fear of God 1. Jerry Lorenzo teamed up with Nike to create one of the most unique and interesting Nike sneakers to drop in a very long time. The Fear of God 1 is a brand new sneaker silhouette, which is interesting because usually when Nike collaborates with someone, they just allow them to change the colorway on one of their already made sneakers. But the Fear of God 1 is all new. I have the light bone colorway, but I did have 2 pairs of the black colorway, but I ended up only keeping the light bones because I just felt like the materials that he used on the upper were just nicer. Granted, this sneaker will definitely get dirtier faster, and I'm gonna have to spray the crap out of this with the Rejuvenator, but I think it's a great looking sneaker, and even though I still haven't really found anything to wear with it yet, it's a shoe that I'm very excited to rock when I get the right pair of pants. One thing I really love about this shoe is that it's sort of a mashup between a high fashion shoe and a basketball sneaker. You could play ball in this sneaker, literally, because it has an air zoom unit, and then you could wear it to the red carpet a couple hours later and no one would blink an eye. I also love the super minimal aesthetic of the sneaker and this weird sort of rectangular air unit cutout that seems out of place, but the more you look at it, the more you start to fall in love with it. The attention to detail on this sneaker is insane. The seam between the midfoot cage and the midsole is, completely smooth. You wouldn't even realize there's a seam there. And the materials that he used on the upper are excellent. The Air Fear of God 1 is a dope sneaker, and I'm very happy to have it in my collection. Number 2, the Nike Adapt BB. The Nike Adapt BB released around All-Star Weekend for $350, and is one of my favorite sneakers of the year. Yes, it's not the prettiest looking shoe in the world, and it's definitely not the most comfortable shoe in the world, but the technology behind it is just so cool. The Nike Adapt BB is the first semi-affordable self-lacing sneaker, and it's also designed to be played in by NBA players. The fact that there's a bunch of electronics and motors in the midsole of this shoe, and huge, like 7-foot tall, 200-pound NBA players are jumping up and down in the shoe and not breaking those electronics, is absolutely insane. The Nike Adapt BB comes with a companion app that allows you to change the color of the lights on the midsole, tighten or loosen the sneaker, and also set it up so that whenever you put your foot into the shoe, it automatically tightens to your desired setting. One of the craziest things about this shoe is how you charge it. All you have to do is set this sneaker down on a wireless charger, a Qi wireless charger. It could be like a phone charger or whatever, and it charges through the sole. $350 is definitely a steep price for a performance basketball sneaker, but because of the tech that you get in it, I think that it's worth it. My favorite part about this shoe is that when you put it on, you feel like you're in the future. It's absolutely crazy. And no, Nike Adapt technology might not actually be the future, but right now, it feels like it. Number 1, the Union LA Air Jordan 1s in the black toe colorway. The Union LA Jordan 1s were my favorite sneaker from last year and one of my favorite collaborations that's ever happened on an Air Jordan 1. I proposed to my fiance in the blue colorway, so I felt like, I needed the black toe colorway, right? I bought this shoe back in February, I believe, and I got it for like $800 right when the prices were starting to go up. I think at one point it was down to $600. I should have just pulled the trigger then, but it is what it is. Unfortunately, this shoe in this size is up around the $1,300 range, and at that price point, this is definitely not something I would spend the money on. But although the price was high, it was definitely a shoe that I couldn't pass up. The attention to detail on the Union LA Air Jordan 1s, like the blue stitching, the Union LA tag, or even the double colored laces, is just insane. Not only that, but the Air Jordan 1 is my favorite sneaker of all time, so this sort of dual colorway shoe was a must-have. The quality of material on this sneaker is also great as well. You've got really nice tumbled leather. All the edges of the leather are dyed yellow to make it look like it's aged, which is so cool. And then you've also got this little hidden suede detail on the Nike check. It's just such a dope shoe. Yes, we're only 3 months into the year, but there were so many good pickups that I've had so far this year, I just had to make this video. And this shoe might be shoe of the year for me, even though it came out last year. But that pretty much wraps up the video for today. Once again, huge thank you to the Container Store for sponsoring today's video. If you would like to check out any of these sneaker drop front boxes, make sure to click the link in the description below, because like I said, until May 19th, they're 25% off, which is a crazy deal. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Please make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, subscribe down below if you haven't yet, and I'll see you all in the next one.